Seeing Han Li's current pace of cultivation, the Reincarnation Palace Master spoke calmly, saying that completing the spirit refinement technique would pose no real obstacle. With a flick of his sleeve, he presented the final 2 levels, warning him plainly. Once perfected, spiritual sense backlash would no longer threaten him, yet every future incarnation would be stripped of cultivation talent. The choice, he said, lay solely with Han Li. Han Li accepted the white jade slip, feeling its chill seep into his palm. After a brief silence, he sighed. For him, there was never truly a choice. Mortals might return to the cycle of reincarnation upon death, but cultivators often perished without even that mercy. If he wished to walk forward, he could only continue refining his spirit. The Palace Master praised his pragmatism, yet soon fell silent. It was Han Li who broke the stillness, voicing a question long buried in his heart. During his time in the Nine Origins Temple, he had seen a woman identical to someone dear to him. He asked where she was now, and whether he could see her. The Palace Master answered without evasion, naming Nangong Wan outright. Though shaken, Han Li kept his composure, already certain of the truth. The reply that followed, however, struck like cold steel. The woman was present, yet she was not Nangong Wan. At least, not the one Han Li knew. A sharp glint rose in Han Li's eyes. Gratitude for the cultivation art meant nothing where this matter was concerned. He had yielded much on his long path, but this was a line he would not cross. If she stood here, he would judge with his own eyes. As his words faded, a figure emerged from behind the stone plaque. The sight pierced straight into his heart. Familiar features, a blue palace dress, everything he had seen countless times in dreams now stood before him. Yet her aura was stronger and unstable, and her gaze held confusion and remorse, not joy. Coldly, Han Li demanded to know what had been done to her. Worm 3 stepped forward, explaining that the Palace Master had merely restored her memories of a past life. The word mother fell like thunder. Before Han Li could react, Nangong Wan retreated from his outstretched hand, glaring sternly. The single step back froze him in place. At his call, her eyes wavered, memories surging, but Worm 3's voice snapped her awake. Removing her mask, Worm 3 revealed her true face. Tears streamed as Nangong Wan rushed to her, calling her Juzhen, bloodline resonance unmistakable. Han Li stood as if struck by lightning. When he demanded answers, the Palace Master replied indifferently. He had returned her memories and cultivation. Worm 3 explained further. Her mother had once been Gan Rushuang. Han Li roared in fury, declaring that she was his Dao partner, his wife, and nothing else. His time-spirit domain burst forth, forcing both women back. Yet the Palace Master stood unmoved, suppressing the raging domain with a single gesture. The clash of 2 lifetimes tore through Nangong Wan's mind, and she collapsed in agony. The Palace Master intervened swiftly, soothing her into deep sleep, remarking that such memories required time to settle. Han Li's fists clenched until his knuckles whitened. What right did anyone have to force the past upon her? The Palace Master answered coldly. Because she was also his wife and only Dao partner, shock swept the hall. Turning to Worm 3, the Palace Master removed his bamboo hat. In that instant, both Han Li and Worm 3 froze. The man's face was identical to Han Li's own. Disbelief surged. Han Li released his domain once more, his mind in chaos. The Palace Master spoke softly. He was Han Li as well. Another Han Li, one who had travelled back in time and abandoned the Tao of time to cultivate reincarnation instead. The revelation shattered all certainty. Though their law powers differed, the connection between them was undeniable. As Han Li stared at the mirror of himself, he knew this was no illusion, no avatar, but another truth of his own existence, standing before him in flesh and soul. "You are you and I am me," the Reincarnation Palace Master said calmly. "Like you, I was born in that same rural village of the Immortal Realm. I shared the same blood, the same youth, the same trials. After enduring innumerable hardships and surviving countless tribulations, I too ascended to the true Immortal Realm." Han Li's turbulent mind gradually steadied, yet a chilling thought took shape. "There cannot be 2 Han Lis under heaven," he said slowly. "Did you travel back through time, choosing a different path through transmigration?" To Han Li, this was the only explanation, an older self returning from the future. Yet even as the thought formed, doubt followed. How could a cultivator of reincarnation wield such mastery over time itself? Before the Palace Master could respond, Han Li shook his head, rejecting his own theory. No, that's impossible. A transmigrator would be forced back once their law threads are spent. You cannot be a future version of me. That is correct, the Palace Master replied evenly. You and I share 2 lifetimes within one existence. You were born from my transmigration. Confusion flickered across Han Li's eyes, swiftly igniting into fury. His memories, from the mortal realm to the spirit realm, were vivid and unbroken. Every encounter, every bond, every life or death struggle was carved into his soul. If all of that were merely the product of another's transmigration, then had his entire existence been a lie. That's absurd, Han Li roared. You cultivate reincarnation, not space-time. This must be deception, an illusion. He activated his infernal devilish eyes, scouring the surroundings, yet reality stood firm and unyielding. Senior vile spirit, get me out of here, anywhere but here, he cried inwardly, his sanity fraying. Han Li. The vile spirit's voice rang like a thunderclap, snapping him back to clarity. He speaks the truth. I, too, am born of his space-time transmigration. Tens of millions of years ago, he travelled into the distant past. Another Han Li was born in that village, and that child became you. The words struck Han Li like a blade through the heart. How could this be? He murmured, utterly lost. Like you, I was born with 4 spirit roots, the Palace Master continued. I cultivated the laws of time to their peak, becoming a threat to Gu Huojin. In our final battle, I was defeated. At death's door, I poured all my accumulated time law power into the heaven-controlling vial. For the first time, it truly reversed time, returning me to the very beginning. That immense power granted me sentience, the vile spirit added. Though faint at first, over endless ages, I became what I am now. Silence fell. After a long while, Han Li spoke softly. So we are separate, yet the same. 2 lives, 2 paths. Precisely, the Palace Master said. Because of my existence, your destiny diverged greatly from mine. Rushuang became Nangong Wan. Your ties to the Devil Realm, Grey Realm, and Primordial Lands run far deeper than my own. Since entering the Immortal Realm, our paths have become entirely distinct. 2 lifetimes, no longer overlapping. How did you become the Reincarnation Palace Master? Han Li asked grimly. I arrived in an era far before your birth, the Palace Master replied. My time law powers were gone, and Gu Huojin was already the Time Dao ancestor. Continuing down that path meant certain doom, so I turned to reincarnation instead. Worm 3 stepped forward, her voice trembling. What about my mother and me? The Palace Master's gaze softened. Not long after you were born, Gu Huojin found us. Your mother sacrificed herself to buy time. Before she died, she sealed her reincarnation law power within you. I sealed you inside a jade pendant immortal treasure to protect you. In the end, I could not defeat Gu Huojin. I poured all my remaining time law power into the heaven-controlling vial, intending to perish with him. I was there? Worm 3 asked, stunned. You were, he said quietly. At the brink of death, the vile spirit was born. The vial gained the power of space-time transmigration, allowing me to escape fate itself. Did Worm 3 transmigrate with you? Han Li asked. She did. Han Li let out a harsh laugh. This is madness. If she returned so far back, why isn't her cultivation far higher? And if space-time transmigration is possible, why can't Gu Huojin do it? The Palace Master asked calmly, Do you know what the heaven-controlling vial truly is? Han Li fell silent. Even now, I do not fully understand it, the Palace Master said. It contains more than time law. Otherwise, it could never have birthed a spirit, nor achieved space-time transmigration. So even Gu Huojin cannot do this? Han Li pressed. Space-time transmigration requires time, space, and reincarnation, the Palace Master replied. The heaven-controlling vial is likely unique across all realms. As long as it remains with you, you alone possess this ability. Han Li needed no further confirmation. He already believed. As for Juzhen, the Palace Master continued, her fate involved another Dao ancestor, Chen Tuan. Han Li frowned, unfamiliar with the name. The Heavenly Court is ruled by Gu Huojin and 6 others, known as the 7 Heavenly Dao Lords. You know Li Yuanju of the 9 Origins Temple. Chen Tuan is the clairvoyance Dao ancestor, the most elusive among them. Following my transmigration, I lost all power. The vial vanished into the river of time. And Juzhen and I were separated. I returned tens of millions of years before your birth. She arrived near your era. I became immortal once more, rebuilding from nothing. After endless years, I found her, rescued her, and founded the Reincarnation Palace. I released her seal and sent her forth as Worm 3. Why didn't you tell me? Worm 3 asked softly. If you knew the truth, our fates would intertwine, he said with guilt heavy in his eyes. If Chen Tuan gazed into my future, he would see you as well. The Heavenly Court cannot find me, but they would have hunted you instead. The truth settled like falling ash, heavy and unavoidable. The revelation struck Worm 3 like a thunderclap to the heart. Emotions surged in tumultuous waves as the haze clouding her past was finally swept aside. Long-held doubts unravelled one by one. Why the Palace Master had shown her such care, why the Reincarnation Palace had nurtured her without reservation, why her cultivation path had unfolded with uncanny smoothness. She had never been abandoned. Her father had been there all along, guarding her from the shadows across immeasurable ages. Tears streamed freely down her cheeks. Even Han Li, long-tempered by wind and frost, felt his heart stir. To watch one's own daughter from afar for tens of millions of years, unable to acknowledge her, such suffering was beyond words. The Reincarnation Palace Master sighed and turned to Han Li. The same was true for you and Rushuang. I dared not grow close to any of you, lest Gu Huojin discover the truth. Then why reveal everything now? Why force Rushuang's memories upon Wana? Han Li demanded. Because the time for concealment has passed, the Palace Master replied calmly. You have already seen my strength. Once I prepare fully, I will seek vengeance against Gu Huojin. You are pragmatic. Without proof of power, you would never have agreed to stand with me. Han Li's fury flared. You may involve me as you wish, but you should never have dragged Wana into this. A chill entered the Palace Master's gaze. She is my wife, Juzhen's mother. I want her to witness Gu Huojin's fall and the collapse of the Heavenly Court with her own eyes, to know her sacrifice was not in vain. She is not Gan Rushuang, Han Li snapped. She is Nangong Wan, one and only. What right do you have to say that? The Palace Master shot back. Rushuang was the sole woman in my heart, yet you already have violet spirit. Do not lecture me about one and only. Han Li fell silent. The Palace Master's tone softened. For now, she retains Wana's memories, with Rushuang's layered atop them. After Gu Huojin is defeated, I can reclaim Rushuang's memories and return her fully to Nangong Wan. That choice should belong to her, Han Li said steadily. Not to you, not to me. Then she will decide in the end, the Palace Master agreed. But know this, the Heavenmen sect sees far. Two of us existing in the same lifetime defies the natural order. When you reach the pinnacle of great encompassment, you will no longer remain hidden. Once Gu Huojin turns his eyes upon you, you must choose, flee forever, or stand with me and defy fate. With my current strength, joining your struggle is courting death, Han Li replied. I may fall long before that pinnacle. The Palace Master gazed into the distance. Our paths differ, yet our hardships are the same. On our sister's wedding day, I returned to the village but revealed myself to no one. That was when I severed all worldly ties and devoted myself wholly to cultivation. Han Li's eyes darkened with memory. He too had once watched his sister enter her bridal sedan and made the same vow. They were the same person, yet had become two diverging selves, drawn by fate to the true Immortal Realm and the laws of time. Han Li found himself unable to define their bond. I have lived your life before. The Palace Master continued. I know what awaits you. Miro believed isolation would save him. You know how that ended. By aiding me, you are also aiding yourself. Han Li remained silent for a long while. There are matters I must consider alone. Then I will not detain you, the Palace Master said. When Rushuang awakens, we shall see her choice. If she wishes to follow you, I will not stop her. But can you protect her? There's no need to wait, Han Li replied bitterly. Now that One Air is involved, I cannot protect her. She is safer with you. So be it. Han Li cast one last lingering glance at Nangong Wan, then turned to leave. You came to use the Six Paths reincarnation plate, the Palace Master said. Why not do so before departing? Han Li turned back. Juzhen, take your mother inside, the Palace Master instructed. Yes, father, Worm 3 replied, carrying Nangong Wan into the inner hall. With a sweep of his sleeve, the Palace Master withdrew his domain. Bring them in. Han Li summoned Weeping Soul and the others. When they entered, the palace master had already donned his bamboo hat, once more the inscrutable ruler of the reincarnation palace. "Follow me." He led them into the depths of the hall, offering no explanation. Violet's spirit sensed his heavy mood. Weeping Soul felt unease ripple through the air. Neither spoke. Shi Chuankong felt a strange familiarity toward the palace master, yet could not grasp its source. They arrived upon the stone platform, where the Six Paths reincarnation plate hovered above a dark red pond. "This plate is not without danger," the palace master warned. "Those who drown in past lives may be shackled by reincarnation and see their cultivation regress. The choice is yours." Hesitation spread among the group, except Jin Tong, whose eyes gleamed with excitement. "I will not enter," Weeping Soul said firmly. "I do not wish to bear memories of a former life." A trace of approval flashed in the palace master's eyes. After a moment's pause, Violet's spirit stepped forward. "I wish to try." The palace master merely pointed. "Enter." She lifted her skirts and waded into the pond. The water was unexpectedly mild, rising to her chest. Her vision blurred, and she collapsed backward, floating unconscious. The palace master formed seals and chanted. The plate roared to life, crimson radiance pouring forth, engulfing Violet's spirit as she sank beneath the surface. 15 minutes later, bubbles burst upward. Violet's spirit leapt from the pond and landed nearby, soaked and dazed, eyes unfocused as though gazing upon another lifetime. Han Li appeared at her side and rested a hand on her shoulder, calling her name softly. She trembled, studied his face as if seeing him anew, then clarity slowly returned. "Han Li," she whispered, throwing herself into his arms. Emotion surged through him as he embraced her gently. Noticing her drenched clothes clinging to her form, Violet's spirit blushed faintly, stepped back, and with a flash of light, dried herself in an instant. "Forgive me," Violet's spirit said softly, her composure tinged with embarrassment. Han Li waved it off and studied her closely. Only then did he realize her aura had weakened. Her cultivation had fallen from the pinnacle of high zenith back to its middle stage. When he voiced his shock, Violet's spirit merely shook her head, calm and accepting. The reincarnation palace master explained that her power had been forcibly raised before, leaving her foundation unstable. Passing through reincarnation had naturally shaved off excess strength. Through voice transmission, Violet's spirit confirmed it. Taoist Shai had stripped law power from others and implanted it into her and Shi Chuankong. Losing some cultivation now was not a loss, but a correction. Han Li understood, though he wondered what memories she had witnessed upon the Six Paths reincarnation plate to cause such a deep impact. When asked who would go next, Shi Chuankong declined. Han Li warned him privately that an unstable foundation could hinder his future path, and that temporary regression might be wise. Shi Chuankong, however, chose to trust Taoist Xie's assurances and continue refining what he had gained. Han Li did not press further. That left Jin Tong. The reincarnation palace master noted that among them all, she had the strongest karmic claim to the plate. Jin Tong did not hesitate. With barely contained excitement, she stepped into the pond and soon lost consciousness. In the next instant, she burst from the water, only to find herself suspended above a raging sea. Thunder roared through the heavens, shaking space itself. A cold, domineering voice rolled down like divine judgment, declaring that Kulin would be erased if she refused to submit. Jin Tong looked up and saw an incomparably vast figure, a jade-green giant, hundreds of thousands of feet tall, radiating earth law power so immense it felt like the weight of all mountains pressing down at once. Xuanyuanji, a Tao ancestor. For the first time, Jin Tong felt true pressure. Yet instead of fear, fury ignited in her blood. A mocking voice answered from across the sea, taunting Xuanyuanji and the heavenly court. The sea suddenly heaved, colossal waves surging skyward as a massive presence rose. Only then did Jin Tong realize the truth. The sea was a shattered continent drifting through space. Above it hovered a jade city carved from a single heavenly mass, bound to the broken land by enormous chains. Thousands of heavenly court cultivators filled the sky, forming a terrifying subjugation array, long prepared for this moment. The continent cracked and collapsed with a world-splitting roar. From within emerged a golden beetle of monstrous size, a gold-devouring immortal, bearing the aura of a Tao ancestor. Its body was shattered and bound by jade chains, yet its presence was still overwhelming. The Jade City descended as Xuan Yuanjie struck, green light condensing into a crushing vortex. The golden beetle answered by biting down on his fist, shattering half his arm in a single clash. Chains rattled, shockwaves tore through space, and azure light engulfed the battlefield. Golden radiance erupted as the beetle laughed, cursing Xuan Yuanjie and the 6 others of the Heavenly Court. Its self-detonation cracked the Jade City, annihilating hundreds of cultivators in an instant. Xuan Yuanjie roared and conjured a vast green net, but before it could seal the light, an elegant woman appeared within the blaze. With a single motion, she tore apart the net, the city, and even the sky itself, opening a colossal rift. From the golden light poured countless infant gold-devouring beetles, swept into the rift and scattered across the realms like dandelion seeds. Only then did Jin Tong understand. Her previous incarnation had been forced to shatter herself, scattering her existence across the heavens to escape annihilation. As the woman's projection faded, Xuan Yuanji struck again, obliterating it completely. Golden motes drifted down, brushing past Jin Tong before vanishing. Consumed by rage, Jin Tong charged Xuan Yuanji, but space itself twisted. She plunged into distortion, the world spinning into darkness. When awareness returned, she was floating on her back in the pond. The 6 Paths reincarnation plate above her had gone still, and the vision was over. Jin Tong rose silently from the pond. She stood motionless for a breath, then stepped onto the shore as a burst of golden radiance surged from her body, instantly turning the water clinging to her robes into drifting vapor. Han Li's pupils tightened. Jin Tong had already advanced to the mid-great encompassment stage. Her aura, however, wavered slightly, as if newly forged and not yet fully tempered. More unsettling still was the dense killing intent coiled deep within her presence, sharp and cold like an unsheathed blade. "It seems you've witnessed the end of your former self," the Reincarnation Palace Master said calmly. Jin Tong spun around at once. Her gaze was like twin daggers as she fixed them on him. "You know about my past?" Her voice had grown low and steady, stripped of its former childish tone. "How do you feel right now?" Han Li asked gently. "My name is Qilin," she snapped, her eyes icy as they swept toward him. After a pause, her expression softened slightly, and she exhaled. "At least, it once was." Dao ancestor Qilin was once sovereign over all arthropods of the true Immortal Realm, the Reincarnation Palace Master said. She refused to submit to the Heavenly Court, and was slain by the Earth Dao ancestor, Xuan Yuanji. Before her fall, she shattered her own body into countless gold-devouring beetles, scattering them across the realms. The revelation stunned everyone present. "Xuan Yuanjie, one of the 7 heavenly Dao lords?" Shi Chuankong asked. "Indeed," the palace master replied. "He is Gu Huojin's most loyal blade. After killing Qilin, he ordered a purge of all arthropods. The 9 monarchs beneath her were exterminated, and the remnants were driven into the lower realms. Endless ages have passed since then." "Xuan Yuanjie," Jin Tong hissed, fists clenched. "You will pay for this." She steadied herself and let out a slow breath. "Forget it. Call me Jin Tong for now. Even with my memories restored, that name still feels distant. I'll reclaim it after Xuan Yuanji falls." At that moment, Shi Chuankong frowned slightly. Jin Tong has reached mid-great encompassment, yet she never severed a corpse soul. Why? The others realized the same and turned toward the palace master. "She is no ordinary cultivator," he explained. "She is a spirit insect born of heaven and earth, endowed with the laws of devouring. By consuming her kin, she strengthens herself. Moreover, she was always a fragment of a Dao ancestor. There is no corpse soul to sever. When all gold-devouring beetles reunite, her Dao ancestor power will return." "What will you do now?" Han Li asked. "I will gather my brethren," Jin Tong replied without hesitation. "Then I will take revenge on Xuan Yuanjie." Han Li nodded. He could see clearly now the childlike innocence she once had was gone. After a brief hesitation, Jin Tong continued, "This is where we part. If fate allows, I'll repay everything you've done for me." Han Li felt a quiet heaviness in his chest. This farewell was unlike the ones before. Still, he nodded. "I have my own road to walk. We've already been fortunate to travel together for so long. Take care of yourself." Jin Tong nodded once and turned away, leaving without another word. Han Li watched her until her figure vanished. Just as he was about to turn back, her voice echoed from afar. "I'll return once I've reclaimed my power and my vengeance, Uncle." A faint smile touched Hunley's lips. "Amid great encompassment, gold-devouring immortal is no small ally," the Palace Master remarked. "You won't stop her?" "She'll come back when she's ready," Hunley replied. The Palace Master nodded. "All who wish to use the Six Paths reincarnation plate have done so. It's time for you to leave." When they emerged from the underground palace, the crimson clouds and Six Paths gale winds had vanished as if they'd never existed. "Let's go," Hunley said. Violet Spirit and Shi Chuan Kong prepared to depart, but Weeping Soul remained still. "Master, I wish to stay in the underworld for a time," she said. Hunley turned to her. "Why?" "I've seen too many powerful cultivators," she replied softly. "The more I see, the more I realize how weak I am. If I stay by your side, I'll only slow you down. The underworld suits my cultivation. I want to grow stronger before returning." "You've never been a burden," Hunley said with a smile. "You've helped me greatly since the Grey Realm. Still, the underworld is indeed better for you. I'll allow it. I only hope our reunion won't take too long." Weeping Soul bowed deeply. "Thank you, Master." Hunley placed a hand against her forehead and transmitted his voice. "I'll leave a wisp of my spiritual sense with you. If danger arises, activate it, and I'll come." "I can't rely on you forever," she protested. "Only by standing alone can I." "This isn't stubborn pride," Hunley cut in. "This is survival." Weeping Soul hesitated, then nodded firmly. With that, their paths diverged. Several months passed in the blink of an eye. A tranquil morning dawned over the black-winged sea, veiled in pale mist. Not far away, the scene shifted violently. Black clouds churned, and colossal yin winds tore through the sky, some the size of houses, others vast as mountains. Waves thundered, mingled with ghostly wails. From within a massive black tornado, a spirit boat wrapped in a golden domain slowly emerged. Aboard it stood Han Li, Violet Spirit, and Shi Chuan Kong, newly returned from the underworld, each lost in thought. Han Li's brow twitched slightly. "What is it?" Violet Spirit asked via voice transmission. "We're surrounded," Han Li replied. "Their leader is at least late. Great encompassment." "What's the plan?" Shi Chuan Kong asked calmly. "Do nothing for now. When I give the signal, you two take to the sky. If you can break through, leave. If not, put as much distance between us as possible." They agreed. Moments later, Han Li suddenly shouted, "Go!" Violet Spirit and Shi Chuan Kong leapt skyward. The sea below erupted. A shadow more than 100,000 feet long surged up, splitting the ocean apart into a massive trench. The unmanned spirit boat plunged straight down. "What a big fish," Hunley muttered. From the depths rose a colossal black-scaled whale, fangs lining its maw. A reeking vortex churned deep within its mouth, and a spiraled black horn gleamed atop its head. Standing upon the beast's back was a thin man clad in white armor. One hand gripped the horn, the other a blue spear. He gazed at Hunley from above, smiling faintly.